It's episode 339, March 7th, 2021, Canadian Patriot Podcast. This is John McDonald with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone, but I don't speak Ukrainian. It's 9 o'clock Canadian, another day closer to victory, and for all of you out there on or behind the line, this is your song.
And we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. So please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. And show you're not a communist and buy a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
I've misplaced my show notes, but I know what the next segment is. This is my favorite segment. It's called What Are We Drinking? It's where we... Oh my gosh, another person. Well, we'll start with Liz anyway, and then we'll go clockwise, I think. Liz, for plausible deniability, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking something called In Good Order. I've never tried it before. It's Tahitian lime and hibiscus hard sparkling soda.
Oh. It almost sounds like you should be wearing some sort of Hawaiian shirt.
Do they do that
for the big luau?
Wouldn't it be a Tahitian shirt?
Same thing.
A Bora Bora.
Polynesian.
It as a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pretending anyway.
Drink enough of them and it'll feel like it.
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett had a song about that, I think. Gavin, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the black cherry White Claws because, there's no laws when you're drinking claws.
What is it with everybody in the weird alcohol? I have beer. Like, I have normal golden ale beer. Like,
well, because I guess
we'll see if this gets worse
some
this week.
sort of weird alcohol that we have to make up for it.
I mean, maybe that's the case. Black Swan Brewing, Road Trip. It's their golden ale, and it's a very generic ale. There's nothing weird or exciting. It doesn't taste like a pine tree or chocolate or coffee or sour or.
We've just lost
like a
half
normal
of our listeners
beer
right there. They're like, fuck it, I'm out.
I mean, understandable. As we know, my contempt for the audience knows no bounds.
This shit.
It's Pierre. What are you drinking?
Signal Hill and Pepsi and cold shots as backup.
Oh boy, Pierre's getting rowdy. Peter, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Sleeman Original tonight.
All right. Well, let's remind everybody, Patriot Challenge is an ongoing thing. You should do 5 things every day to be a better person. And if you want to taunt your friends and or enemies and or CSIS on social media, grab the template from the website, and I'd say tag us, but we lost our social media account, so share it with your friends and enemies, and maybe tag the government directly.
Yeah.
5 things: exercise for 45 minutes, practice a skill for 10 minutes, read a book for 15 minutes, drink your 2 liters of water, and complete 1 task to improve your life, because you should always be improving your fighting position.
Hence why we drink on Mondays.
That's right. I get all my drinking done for the week on Monday.
Efficiencies.
Monday's just the start of the week for drinking. Did I not get the memo right?
I mean, maybe this is like a pedantic thing, but
a pandemic.
Does the week start on? No, not pandemic. Pedantic. The week. Does the week start on Monday or Sunday?
Sunday.
I guess that depends.
Sunday.
Ah,
Calendars started on Sunday.
Dirty Christian Orthodox.
I was going to say, that's a little less Christian and a little more Orthodox.
Yeah.
The
work week starts on Monday.
Cursing the church, Pierre. All right. The night has started. That's what tabernacle is. It's cursing the church.
I don't think he's cursing the whole church. He's cursing in French about a specific thing in the church. But
yeah, just the tabernacle.
We can.
Yeah, he's not like.
where I only talk French.
I'm not offended.
I don't
Also,
know
I'm
that we
pretty
would.
sure that like all French swear words are relating to religion
Yeah, 100%.
because like
Yeah.
they
It's
say all
actually
the
a-
other words or like translations of them, and it's like no one said anything. But you mention anything that has to do with like Catholicism, and then all of a sudden they're offended.
Yeah, no, but there's actually a whole funny backstory to that whole thing. Why specifically, I guess, in this scenario where Quebec or French is use a lot of Christian words as swear words, right? Because the church was against a bunch of stuff, right? Or more so the French, and then the church kind of started going with European order at the founding of Canada, and the French were so mad about it that they started using religious. I don't want to say sacrilegious, but because that's the opposite, but like holy words that the church, held to a higher standard, and they started using those as swear words because the church was a little bitch. So, like, it's kind of funny if you really think about it, right? Like,
I'll believe it.
Like,
Works for
That's
me.
about right.
talking a long time ago, right? Like,
Oh boy.
decided to go with a bunch of stuff, so a bunch of French people got mad at it, and now we.
So instead of becoming Protestants, they just protested by using religious words as swear words, but still stayed Catholic.
But they also invented poutine.
I'm sorry, that you mean cheese or fries and cheese sauce, sir. We do not use the Putin word anymore.
Yeah. So no, sorry. It's only Quebec restaurants that don't do that, right? If you're in Ontario, you're still good.
I think it was just one Quebec restaurant too.
Yeah, I don't know, but let's just associate all
Yeah,
of them with
one too many. Yeah.
On the Patriot Challenge, it's my daughter's 7th birthday today, so she got her.
Hey, happy
got her-
birthday to Peter's daughter.
Thank you for her case, I guess. We got her a Garmin fitness watch for kids. So
Does
she's
she
been,
already have a Savage Rascal? Because that would
that's coming in the summer. Actually,
There you
she's
go,
just
good
gonna
man.
Well, she's just gonna shoot my 22. That's fine. Little Ruger.
Those
it's fine.
rascals are fun.
Yeah,
You know what?
but I need more guns for me first.
What we really need
mean-
to do is if we get our hands on some of those like little rascal like invalid scooters and then shoot rascals
Rascals
from
while you're
those-
riding rascals, because
Yeah.
I heard you like.
Yeah.
I heard you like rascals,
Like little
dog.
Rascals?
Yeah.
Does he like
That's
little
perfect.
could
You
be-
could. Gavin can cosplay as one of the little rascals while riding his scooter and shooting his single shot 22.
Yeah.
There are levels on top of levels of this.
That would be a match. That would be, yeah. Although we'd probably have to do that in the States because probably sure we can't drive and shoot here.
Oh, there's lots of
You-
places you can get away with
Not
it.
allowed to hunt from a gun, or you're not allowed to hunt from a gun. You're not allowed to hunt from a car or be on the road. I don't know if there's any rules about driving a mobility scooter on the range, but there is about to be, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, as long as we get the match in first. I'm okay being the guy that makes a rule be created.
I mean, we did have the one, Gavin, I think you were there. We had one match where it was a requirement to use a wheelchair.
True. But it
So-
wasn't motorized.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not a big step to go from a wheelchair to a motorized wheelchair.
It's true. It's true. I'll allow it. Yeah. Let's do
Can we
this.
put a Gatling gun on the back?
No, a single shot, child size 22.
Okay, but it's really fun to shoot. Like it is. But like
It is fun to shoot. I mean,
her daughter for I don't know. I think her like 3rd birthday. Right, she couldn't shoot it, but I was like, "Well, it's on sale." So I bought one. I went bunny hunting with it. I didn't have a 22. I've had a 22 size, but like, I went bunny, squirrel hunting, small game hunting with that single shot 22, and I'm like, that is a like other than like if the squirrel or bunny moves right as you're about to squeeze the trigger, like it's a fun gun. The only part that sucks is if you got to do like a secondary shot because it moved. But other than that, I love shooting that gun.
They are fun.
I mean, I also enjoy my son's rascal probably way more than is healthy for an adult man.
Just wait till he
It's a
gets to shoot
fun.
it.
It's a fun rifle.
It is. It is. It
Fun.
for how small it is, for how compact it is, and it feels kind of weird because you gotta like tuck everything in because the stock's so small or whatever. But I'm like, it's a fairly smooth trigger. the bolt is pretty smooth, and I'm like, it's pretty accurate. Like 25 yards in, like no questions asked. Past that, I mean, barrel length and depending on ammo, maybe is questionable. But like within 25 yards with that gun, no ands or buts. It's a fun gun to shoot, hands down.
I'm gonna finish my story.
Carry on.
Yes, sorry, we Garmin watches. That's
No, I understand completely. I get distracted by guns all the time. So anyway, daughter got a fitness watch. She's been pushing my wife all day. Mom, I got more steps than you. Mom, I'm getting activity minutes. Today when her friends are over for homeschool, they go downstairs to play after, and she comes upstairs. She's like, Mom, can you help me get my watch back on? I'm like, she's like, why? Like, you had it on when you went downstairs. Well, we were taking turns to see who could get the most activity minutes. So it's good. Get the kids active.
So yeah,
What?
awesome.
oh my.
That, and I will agree here with the comment here that it's on the live chat from Bane Ironhand. 22 short is still the most fun cartridge. I agree. I love shooting 22 shorts, especially at steel targets, because it's like a cartoon. Because you hear like, the little puff when it goes off, and then you hear the zip, ting, zip. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta try 22 shorts in my lever action. Apparently I can fit like 22 in the tube.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm not
I got-
happy about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about upcoming events. First one, short, a little short notice. So if you aren't paying attention to Discord, maybe you should come on Discord with us, because I'm half boomer on my mom's side, and I figured out how to use Discord.
Ian figured out how to use Discord.
And Ian's an actual boomer.
It's true.
Or is he the greatest generation? I never remember.
It's funny.
I guess that depends on who you ask.
Depends if you ask.
Lately, he's been the silent generation, and,
Yeah.
You guys got me hooked up on Discord and I haven't touched it since.
That's all right. I am infrequently on it.
I belong to like 3 Discord servers. It's fine.
Yeah.
In any event, if people are on Discord, they will have already seen this. And if people are on the Strava Club, because we like exercise, we tolerate exercise, they will have seen this. We're going to organize a group hike rock activity this weekend, the 13th of March. It'll probably be around Kitchener-Waterloo area in Southern Ontario. Yes, I'm excluding like a large number of listeners, but also there's a bunch of people that live in the KW region. Yeah, I'm even excluding panelists. I know. Liz, you and I can carpool. Gavin, I'll meet you there.
Sounds good.
I don't know. the way gas is, Pierre, I would not make the trip.
No, so yeah,
Me
actually,
neither.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected. That's a 2-day drive for a 2-hour hike. That's not worth it.
Yeah.
March
Almost
13th,
it is you guys.
somewhere on the 401 between Mississauga and London, probably like KW. We're going to go 10, 15 kilometers. We're not going to go fast. It's a social thing. Discord has details when we sort them out, like when and where.
That's this Sunday.
That's
Yeah.
this Sunday, which is fine because most of our listeners download the show as soon as I publish it.
as
Some
long
of
as you
them
don't-
pester me before I publish it.
As long as you don't publish it like
That used to
Saturday.
be me.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll get it out. It'll be done. It'll be fine. I'm trying to give people notice. If you're hanging out on Discord or if you're on Strava, you will have already seen it. Again, going by Strava, there's a bunch of people in the KW area, so that's convenient. Sorry to the guy in BC. Sorry to Peter. Sorry to Pierre. Also coming up, Toronto Sportsman's Show is going to be in March. I have been strongly recommended that I should work the show this year, so I will be at the Ontario Rifle Association booth on Saturday, probably being sad about things. But after that, I think beer is in order.
I will come and join. I'll probably pop into the show just because I'm local. But if there's going to be beer and wings after, I will definitely be there for beer and wings.
I don't know if I can afford wings in today's market, but I'm going to have beer one way or the other because the Sportsman Show historically drives me to drink.
Wow.
Tell you what, You shoot the pigeons. I'll bring the sauce and the barbecue. We'll save some.
Perfect.
I'll bring the
Perfect.
parking lot beers.
I'm not sure if I want to shoot the pigeons in Toronto, but like we'll figure it out. Not because I'm uncomfortable shooting in Toronto. I mean, I would be one of many people shooting things in Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable with the quality of the pigeons.
You'd be
Yeah.
the only legal gun owner shooting in Toronto.
I mean, very
Yeah.
likely.
Also,
Very likely. So Friday, March 18th, again, Discord, and I'll try to make more details when we like find a venue and know where we're going to. It's probably going to be near the International Center because I'm lazy. And also, Gavin doesn't know this yet. I'm probably sleeping on the floor at his house. So,
Yeah. Hey, the guest bed's all yours, dude.
I mean, I appreciate that. But we'll, yeah, Sportsman Show. Come by, say hi, get beer. I don't know. I'm sure we must have a beer hall in Mississauga that we can use.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a beer hall.
Oh, go to that place, those hoagies, or whatever the fuck those things are called. I had them for supper again tonight. Do that. It was genius.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Andrew,
sold.
Andrew knows the place. It's where we went after the TAC Med class. They've got little mini Yorkies. Pierre's hooked on them now.
Yorkies.
Oh,
that's
sweet.
what- Yeah.
Yorkies. Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned. Check Discord. We'll have details. We'll organize a listener meetup for Friday night for the Sportsman Show. Also, I know all of a sudden the events section has gotten really long, right? That's what she said. I'm no,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
I'm getting
It's a
some
stretch,
quizzical
we'll take
looks.
Yeah.
Trying to be good. I'm trying to be good.
The last big New Shooter Canada week, we're thinking April the 3rd, we're going to do a group ruck for time. There are 2 rules. You have to do the whole thing and no complaining. I don't care if you make the time. I don't care about any of that. I have an agreement with some other people that we're going to do 10-minute kilometers on April the 3rd. And again, it'll probably be like between Mississauga and London, somewhere in the 401 corridor. Check Discord for details. But 2.5 hours, no butt hurt.
Yeah. So if you come out and you're not keeping pace, you will be left behind, and it's not because we don't like you.
Because we're doing shit.
Yeah.
long pause there.
It's because
Because of the that's what she said comment. I feel like that was maybe
Is that
related.
why the pause is long?
Oh boy.
You need a
CCFR.
crickets button.
I used to have that. I've given up on trying to fix drops because Marty won't help me anymore. He's like busy being a dad and stuff. He hasn't got time to fix my computer problems.
Well, and you'll have to buy another IT package from him. I think he's used it up.
Yeah, that's not untrue. CCFR has announced more stuff for the National Range Day. They have a YouTube channel now, and they've updated their website. So Saturday, June 4th, National Range Day. Shoot guns with people at ranges in an organized and safe fashion. Also, TACCOM got announced. TACCOM is back. September 8th and 9th. I am very likely not going to be there because I would much rather shoot guns that weekend.
What? I don't know what that is. So
TACOM is like SHOT Show North-ish.
That is a terrible description of both
Ish.
SHOT Show and TACCOM.
Yeah, it's
Got the north.
it's
part,
the
right?
closest thing we have, sort of.
It is a
large gun
firearms
show.
and tactical trade gun show. It's gun stores and
Yeah.
manufacturers and distributors showing off their products. It's not a go and buy, it's a go and look at new toys.
okay, I've been to enough farm shows. I know exactly what this is.
Perfect.
Yes, but slightly fewer FUDs.
Yes, unlike the Sportsman
Slightly?
Show, there will actually be a bunch of guns there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fair.
yeah. And ones that you wouldn't be able to leave there with legally, even if you could purchase guns there, because waiting periods and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that, I think, rounds out events.
Yeah.
New Shooter Canada Ruck Challenger on week 7. I did mine. I was not happy about it, but I did it.
Yeah.
5 more weeks. 5 more weeks.
Is that because the groundhog saw his shadow as we've got 5 more weeks? Is that?
No, it's because I'm old
Oh.
and broken and everything hurts all the time.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm a little sore today.
I'm going tomorrow. I'll be fine.
I'm going either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Although
We'll
the 17 degrees on Sunday was quite nice. I
Yeah.
did get some looks rocking my silkies.
Yeah,
It's minus
you
20.
would have.
It was minus 25 this morning. 17 degrees. Stupid Toronto.
What was it on Saturday? That was Monday.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, it was kind of chilly-er Monday compared to Sunday. But yeah, it was pretty nice down where you, I mean, it wasn't horrible here, but
Nice.
All I
Sure.
can say is my basement did not flood. That's all that matters.
And that's a win.
Hey,
that is a win.
I have
this
3
year-
sump pumps that run. Better not. flood.
Jeepers. Sounds like our swamp country.
What's that?
Sounds like the swamp country here. If you got a full basement, you need to have one sump pump running all the time, one as a backup, and one on battery backup.
Yeah.
I don't have a full basement.
Oh, I have a full basement. I have woken up, got out of bed to ankle deep water before. That will
That's
get
a
you
different kind of
rocking
full.
at 3 a.m.
There's a different kind of
Yeah.
full.
Different kind of full, but also sucks.
Not a good time. I have
So,
no witty
okay.
transitions.
Explain this like rucking to me. I'm new to the show. What is this? I keep
You
on
put a
hearing you guys
backpack
keep
on.
talking about
Yeah.
it, and
You
I'm
put
like,
a backpack on and you go for a walk.
so I definitely
Well, you
have
put stuff
heard
in the backpack.
your prepper podcast on rucking. So I don't need to hear about actual rucking. What is it that you guys are tracking?
distance over, so you get an allotment of time per week, and
Oh.
you go as far as you can with 20 to 30 pounds minimum.
Well,
So you
but
guys
that's
are
only
trying
that's
a certain amount.
that's because New Shooter Canada gingerly placed a gauntlet in our path that conveniently has the 12-week structure of the challenge, and everything is a contest.
Got it.
And Mama told me I was a winner, so
We're winning.
That, and as of when I looked earlier today, Andrew was still in the lead.
yes.
He's got me by about 1.5 kilometers ish for total kilometers so far.
Excellent.
But there are 2 people that I think are going to crush us when they get
Oh,
their
yeah.
7 in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that like hurt my ego in a like uncomfortable kind of a way, because
I think there's 3 of us.
are there 3 of you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do well, Peter, and I mean I am a little bit jealous.
No,
But
not
there's-
including me. There's Mr. HN Howling on Discord. I don't know people's names. Those
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah,
are
I don't know
right up
people's
there.
real names either.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of people, I think they're in BC, they're in the Strava group. There's a
Yeah.
couple of people that are just like destroying my times.
They're putting up stupid numbers and doing elevation on top of that.
Yeah, well, I know. So I'm somewhere around 57 and change. Andrew's at 59 and change. There's one guy that has not done week 7 yet, and he's at like 50 something, like low 50s. So if he could put up at least what we did, that's 12K. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like hopeful for 11K on this week, which I don't think will be that hard to do.
Is
you
that pretty
can
much
do
what
it.
you guys fit in? Is like 12K a week? Is that kind of the goal?
So every week, New Shooter Canada has a prescribed amount of time, and you try to get as much distance in the prescribed time as you can get.
Sounds very.
I
competitive.
am trying to maintain a sub 10-minute kilometer pace
yeah.
because I like to hurt myself for fun.
His safe word is pineapple.
I was gonna say. I
It's
was like,
true.
That sounds like something people are into. So
Yeah, some people pay good money for it.
You would be amazed what you can get on OnlyFans.
Yeah. But yes, I
We
Try
just
to
started
get that.
rocking OnlyFans.
sub 10
Only
minute
Rutgers.
kilometer as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure Gavin was on there last week with the short shorts. So.
They were short.
I mean,
And they
you
were.
guys could subsidize the podcast with an OnlyFans.
We've
Never
made
know.
that.
Probably cost us more money.
Well, no, we adopt Pierre's mentality. $5 to get a nude, $10 to not.
I mean,
You
But,
don't, oh no, not even $5. $10, and you don't get it. You don't send the $10. You get a picture of the starfish.
Well, that's what I'm saying. $5 to get one, $10 to not get one.
No,
That's
no,
the
They're free.
Send it for
They're
free.
free. You have to pay us to stop.
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a new
Yeah, so
marketing
don't forget to subscribe to our mailing list for reasons.
oh boy.
a new marketing method.
With
Send
the
listener
amount I
feedback.
get paid to not send one, I'm okay with a few freebies here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that at all clears up what we're doing with the rucking, but here we are.
A little bit.
I recommend wearing something on the bottoms. You get a lot less weird looks.
I don't think anybody ever said that they were going bottomless. I don't think so.
Might have to now.
How do you think
mean-
the only works for us?
Oh, that's true. This is how the OnlyFans pictures come out. I get it now. Can
I
agree
don't,
with all of
and I'm
that?
okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, really, when you're out wrecking Pierre's in the bushes, taking photos to spam people with and get money on his OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good for him.
all right. Well, super hard pivot to the news because I want off.
Probably a good one.
All right.
Hopefully it's not too hard.
No. I have a delicate subject that I'd like to discuss, and I don't know how to do it in a not offensive way. And now I feel badly about it having put it at the top of the show.
Do it second.
Everyone just
I can't do it.
all right, and we're good.
Okay. Update from the Special Investigation Unit in Ontario regarding the shooting death of gunsmith Roger Katanko. So the SIU director report came out. The news made statements about it. The subject officer has been found not criminally negligent for their actions.
Shocking.
We have investigated ourselves and found ourselves not guilty.
I mean, sort of. So, like,
Yeah.
technically, the SIU is like an arm's length watchdog. It's not like the police investigated the police and found out they did nothing wrong. It's the police watchdog group investigated the police and found out the police had done nothing wrong. Also, Katanko's wife and the subject officer both declined to discuss anything with the investigators.
The problem is,
I'm
though,
not.
is that, like, now that we have closure,
Well,
we still have a ton of questions.
I actually have more and new questions as a result of the
Yeah.
SIU report. So, I mean, like, I'd still like to know who this alleged apparent customer is that no one has heard from or has been named or is, like, publicly available information. Why were they calling the night before? Now, apparently, they brought a Norinco pistol in to have service done on it. Katanko allegedly said it would be a quick fix and the guy should wait there. Katanko was out shopping with his wife that morning, came home. Apparently this guy showed up. They started working on the gun. And then Toronto police showed up to execute this search warrant, entered the shop. Katanko tried to get the gun, pointed it at the police, and the officer shot him 4 times, killing him. I have questions.
Well, yeah, it sounds like they didn't do like a no-knock wellness check, right? So like they didn't like kick the door in, rush him, guns blazing.
No,
But-
they're calling it a quote-unquote soft entry.
But then why were their guns drawn?
Well, why were their guns drawn? Why did they not present the search warrant for over 2 weeks? Why did they not detain Katanko before he entered his shop? Why is the alleged witness never have been entered into custody? I still have a lot of unanswered questions about this, and I
Also, like, if reading the thing, like, if they went in softly with guns drawn, that means they're ready to shoot, right? Why did it take him reaching for a gun, picking up the gun, waving the gun around, and then finally pointing it at them for them to shoot him?
well, and that's they say that they ordered him several times not to do it, and then to put the firearm down. But like, also, where's the video? Where's the body cam footage? Where's any statements from the officer to that effect? Why are they refusing? I know the whole if you don't have anything to hide, you shouldn't not cooperate thing, but also, why is the officer in question not cooperating with the SIU or turning over their notes? Why was it 2 weeks to get the warrant? Just because the SIU has found that nothing criminally liable has happened, I am not convinced that nothing transpired that shouldn't have. I don't think that this was justified. I wasn't there. I don't know the details. I am disappointed they haven't released more details. This doesn't seem like a good shoot. And I hope that the family's lawyer gets the $23 million in damages they're seeking for this, because this
Absolutely.
is some serious bullshit.
We have to pay. I kind of don't disagree with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to be my $23 million in taxes, but also this is some serious bullshit.
Yeah. I there's just so I have more questions since they came out with some stuff than none of the info before. I have more questions, and nobody's gonna answer them obviously because government. But I after reading this article, I was just like, well, what about this now? And what about this? Questions I wasn't thinking, right?
And what's going to happen with the original investigation that led them to be there? That's just going to get closed up, swept under the rug, or are they still going to bothering to try and figure out how some of his alleged custom pistols have found their way into criminals' hands?
Right. So did we find out when his last CFO investigation, or not investigation, but I don't even
Inspection.
know if it's CFO. Was it the
CFO inspection?
So when was his last CFO inspection compared to when these alleged pistols were, found on unlicensed people in random areas? Where's that paperwork?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not thrilled with this outcome. This is
No.
I mean, I think it kind of reflects the fact, though, that we've seen it kind of across the board where there's just a whole smoke and mirrors concept. They don't actual accountability, right? So even if there is an SIU investigation, they're policing themselves. They're not going to do anything.
I know, and I'm not happy about it, but I'm also not sure what to do about it. And we've talked about this before, and I don't know that it's everybody on this panel, but the institution of policing seems very damaged in this country, and I don't have animosity for individual officers, but the way that we run the police in this country is seriously flawed, and incidents like this damage the public's perception of the institution.
Right. Yeah. This one bad situation, that
right. And maybe legitimately something happened. Maybe take the SIU investigation at its word. Katanko sold guns illegally to criminals and was pointing loaded firearms at police officers serving a lawful warrant.
And whether the guns
I still don't feel like that's justification to start shooting people.
No, but whether that gun's loaded or not loaded, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that would really matter. Because if someone's pointing a gun at me, right, I'm hoping to scream.
Right, and you don't know. And
Every
again,
gun is
I'm not.
always loaded.
I'm not trying to paint the officer, the subject officer, as having necessarily done the wrong thing, but why did they serve the warrant when the guy was in his gun shop when they know he's a fucking gunsmith?
Yeah,
I'd like to do this in the like the least like dangerous way possible. You know what I'll do? I'll do it while he's in the shop where we know there's a bunch of guns. That's a great fucking plan.
Been better off doing it in the fucking cheese aisle at Metro.
Well,
Right.
that's the thing. Like they knew he was out shopping. They did it after he came home from shopping. The implication is he was being surveilled. Why make it a dangerous situation? Why not stop him on the drive home and pull him over and take him out of the vehicle and be like, hey,
wait till he's out
have
of
a
the car
warrant.
with
We have
shopping bags in
questions.
his hands, right? Like,
right.
Right. And I
Well-
mean, everybody here has had a shitty interaction with a cop, right? In various forms, whether at gunpoint or just being a douchebag because they're being douchebags. But I mean, I've had many, many, many good interactions with relatable, respectable, good people, I guess you could say, that are cops. And, the people that this one bad taste in their mouth, can ruin 1,000 other potential good interactions.
Well, this is part of the problem, right? Is like you don't hear about all the things that have gone well. You hear about all the things that are problem. Nobody says nice things when things go well, right? They complain.
It's well, half the problem though. I would say not even half the problem. Like in my opinion, all of the problem is that as soon as something questionable occurs and you start being shady with how that information is released to the public, it becomes so much worse. Like it just, everything that they're saying in this investigation, you're right, Andrew, could be right. All of it could be. But the fact that the average human can't connect the dots and they're not willing to share all the information available makes it shady. And it does paint like every other cop with that doubt. And that really sucks because then when you get pulled over for a busted taillight, you're just going to assume that cop is corrupt or just going to do whatever. It creates a really big mess, but the transparency is garbage. That's the problem.
If you want to know if they're a dirty cop right off the get-go, put 100 in your ownership papers when he asks for it. And if you get a secondary fine, he's a good cop.
Yeah.
So that's going to cost you $100 and another fine. But I mean,
yeah, but what happens when they don't take it? You get charged with bribing an officer. That's the downside.
no, I keep my emergency money in the glove box with the registration. It's not a bribe. It's a wallet.
It's got a little foldy fold with a little push push.
Is that a French thing?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not happy about this, and I expect there's more to come. So I am going to continue to monitor the news alert thingy I have for when Roger Katanko's name comes up, because I really hope that they take this to trial civilly, and they do find more information to share about what actually transpired. Because I don't think we're getting the whole story.
The nice thing about the civil court is that basically the judge can find however he wants. So like if the officer doesn't want to provide the information that could exonerate himself, then fuck him. You owe us a bunch of money.
Yeah,
so
$23
he
million.
better start. Yeah, he better start cooperating. Otherwise, he's gonna be broke.
I mean,
so
fingers crossed.
So going way off on this, but so because he's been declared not at fault by the SIU and his job performance of the job he was required to do that day, the service warrant, and he gets fined in civil, would he be covered under his?
I don't know. You'd need to talk to somebody that worked in law enforcement or understood how their insurance policies are set up.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I just don't. I don't know. Not my area of expertise.
I was just curious if you guys would know, like, because he's been found.
I imagine his work insurance that he would be carrying through his employment would cover him for something like this, but like I imagine that there would still be like implications in that in terms of his career and everything, where it's like, yeah, so you cost us $23 million, you're not insurable anymore. Yeah,
Congratulations, you're dealing with traffic violations from now on.
Yeah,
enjoy doing meter maid duty.
or you're stuck on desk duty from now until the end of time, right? Like there will be some hopeful career implications to this, even if it goes to civil court.
Either that or you know what? Fuck it, straight chief.
Well, yeah.
Well, more gun stuff.
I like that stuff.
More gun stuff. Federal court extends timetable of firearms ban challenge. This is on iPolitics. Good news, we all get to keep our AR-15s.
Wow. Maybe.
Those of us that had registered AR-15s before get to continue to own our registered legal property.
For now.
Can't
For
do
now.
shit, but it can still be in your closet.
You know what, though? I'll take not doing shit and not being a criminal over not doing shit and being a criminal.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it looks like the government, in its infinite wisdom, has spent 2 years not dealing with an order in council, which I feel like we predicted this.
If
Well,
come up.
And we're now what are we? We're 7 weeks away from the end of the amnesty
Yeah.
period, and the number of firearms that have been turned over for destruction or have been registered as no longer being firearms is something like double digits.
at like 40?
Yeah.
Less than 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
is-
think they've hit triple digits yet.
No. Which is still more than I would like to see, but it's still quite low when you look at the
Well, when
number.
it's 100,000 AR-15s in this
Even-
country, never mind everything else.
Well, yeah, even when you look at their, like, I mean, they have actual numbers of how many restricted items there are, but they're drastically underreported non-restricted numbers so that compliance artificially looks higher when all the ARs get turned in.
Oh,
at some
I'm
point.
sure, because I mean, I'm not encouraging people to not follow laws, because that's like incitement or something, and I don't want to have that charge.
Yeah, no.
But
But we've had plausible deniability at the beginning of the show.
true, I also could see a lot of people with like CZ58s, VZ58, or CZ858s, VZ58s, being
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what, I'm just not gonna do that.
Well, given that we already like, so when they talk about numbers of like people that have licenses and everything, they like to use the like 2 million licensed gun owners in Canada, and then probably another million more that are in peaceful non-compliance.
And have been since the long gun registry in 1992.
Yeah.
So we're like 30 years of, and I mean, like,
peaceful
eventually some of that
non-compliance. I imagine
of
the
that-
number will creep up.
attrition will be a thing, and like
Yeah.
that's fine. But also, if the government prohibited your non-registered, non-restricted firearm, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to break any laws, but I don't know that I go out of my way to do anything about it either.
Yeah, especially when
Like-
they're offering you fuck all in return for it.
Well, and how long, like looking back in history, like when they did the long gun registry, how many years, decades of amnesty did they do for like registering non-restricted long guns?
Yeah.
Like that was like 15 years, 18 years
Well,
of
that, I mean,
amnesties?
reading through the Caliber magazine article about how this whole thing is going to work makes it seem completely ridiculous and like,
Oh, I forgot to put show notes for that. That was the explanation, the redacted plan from IBM, right?
yes.
So IBM said you have to like register your registered, newly prohibited firearm online, and then like
Yeah, you're
Mail it
already,
to
you
the
already
government,
registered
and
an
then-
item, you have to re-register it.
then you had to like mail it to the government, and then you had to wait for them to provide your compensation, and the compensation model hadn't been worked out, and it wasn't like half of the document was redacted, but like it was like half of the 400-page document was redacted.
Yeah.
I mean,
It certainly
hyperbole,
doesn't
it maybe
sound-
wasn't like half, but like a large portion of that document was redacted.
Well, key parts of it that probably explain some of the stuff were like there'd be whole sections where it was completely redacted other than a couple of words, and then others where it was like, okay, but none of this is relevant to shit. This is like, okay, yeah, you've done your gender analysis, you've done your this, your that, whatever. Like no one gives a shit about
Well, I'm
that.
glad they finally did a gender-based analysis on this.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better. When are they going to do the other 86 genders?
Yeah, well, I guess that's why we still haven't figured out what we're doing, and they have to extend the amnesty. They haven't got all the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm I am in no big rush to turn over my property to the government.
No, I am not either. But although, I mean, maybe what they'll do is that there will be no compensation. They'll just send it all to the Ukraine.
Put a pin in that for a minute. I'm not ready to transition to your borscht take yet, but we'll get to that.
That would have been an excellent segue.
I know, but I have one more firearms thing I want to cover because I love guns.
I understand. I hate this article.
Timeline, government,
Yeah.
country.
It's the worst.
Yeah. You remember when Harambe was alive and we didn't have any of these problems?
You remember when I had never heard of Harambe and we didn't have any of these problems? I miss
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I miss that. All right, so the new public safety minister, Marco Mendicino. That's the guy. That's the guy. The Liberals plan to bring proactive firearms legislation soon.
Okay, well, proactive in what way? Is it?
Well, in the way that we're
I'm
going to get to
ignoring-
lose
I'm
all of our
ignoring-
guns. That's the...
No, I'm ignoring the article. Proactive in the way that, hey, we might get invaded one day, so maybe we should proactively loosen the regulations on firearms so that more people have guns and we can defend ourselves.
You want to train your citizens to repel foreign invaders before the actual invasion?
Sorry.
I think
know.
they're thinking more of the proactive way if they're going to try to stop you from committing thought crime, because thought crime leads to actual crime.
This-
And marijuana is a gateway drug, but here we are.
This is Canadian Patriot podcast.
I like my
not
article better than yours.
Patriot podcast.
Well, I mean, I feel like we have a fair bit of Ukraine stuff to cover, although we're going to try and do it
Yes.
quickly, I think, for the sake of brevity and time. But I don't understand what the Liberals' plan is because they didn't actually discuss it in the House or in committee. It's just that they're going to do some proactive firearm stuff, which I take as code for bend over, we're going in dry.
Yeah.
OIC round 2?
I kind of feel like that's what's happening. And I mean, the rumor is like more magazine restrictions, more bans, more changes to the Firearms Act.
I don't doubt that they would use the OIC or another OIC to move some stuff around, but the problem is the way that orders in council work. It only allows them to shuffle things around within the current rules and regulations. In order to really screw things up for us, they need to put a bill through. So,
Well, and that's kind of what I expect is coming, is there's going to be an act to amend, an act to amend, an act to amend the Firearms Act.
yeah.
But they already got a Bill Blair. They don't need another bill.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
but
one's
now
enough.
Mendicino is the
Yeah.
the new Bill Blair, and we
Well,
haven't lost enough of our firearms yet, so
So
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do some magazine restrictions. Go ahead, Liz.
Oh no, I'm just looking at like I'm looking at another article about this, and the part that kind of blows my mind a little bit. Everything else, I think everybody's kind of heard of already. Like, hey, this might happen, this might happen. But he's saying that they've also pledged to work with any province or territory that wants to ban handguns.
well, that's because the government's finally realized how the division of powers in this country work, and they realize that they can't allow municipalities to do that because the municipalities get their power from the provincial government, not the federal government. So in order to enact any sort of thing like that, they need to bribe the province with their ridiculous sum of money to stop gun crime by banning handguns.
You mean like they did with COVID restrictions?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say,
I mean, I would like to have them ban handguns like they actually have banned handguns, because you
Yeah.
need to like have a license and register them and have a piece of paper that says where you're allowed to take them and when and under what circumstances. And you're definitely not allowed to shoot people with them, at least not
Yes,
on any of the
but
paperwork I have.
Unfortunately, Minister Mendicino,
I mean, one ital is as good as the next ital.
doesn't quite understand how public safety actually works.
So he's a liberal cabinet minister.
Law-abiding Yeah, law-abiding citizens by definition are law-abiding and not a problem.
Criminals
So
don't
Gavin,
follow the law.
You are one thought crime away from being a criminal.
I'm okay with that.
Carry for everyone could potentially solve the problem.
I'd be
I
down with
re-
that.
I really would like to just use some of our existing organizations and structures in this country to encourage civilian marksmanship in the event that we ever need people to know how to shoot things.
Yeah.
And by things, I mean an invading force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, Russia's what, like 80 miles from Alaska? That's not that far.
You can see it from Sarah Palin's house.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's something to that too, but I won't draw any lines. But yeah, like that's closer than Cuba to Florida. Like people don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because believe it or not, the world is round, not flat.
You can't prove that.
I know that's what the map says that's hanging on the wall. It says it's flat.
Government programming.
Yeah.
Propaganda. Propaganda on all sides.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that the government funded school that told me it was round could have potentially been wrong and is still teaching the wrong thing?
I mean,
I'm exempt. I was homeschooled, man.
that's
Socially
my
awkward.
only.
That's why you're so weird.
Better believe it.
Oh,
I
boy.
homeschool my own kids. So.
Like, I just feel like it's the time that we should trust government. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
They haven't fucked us hard that bad.
So you lead the charge and we'll follow you when you decide you're gonna.
Just make sure that
Don't
as
look
you're
back.
doing that,
We
you
will
yell
be.
out, "Leroy Jenkins." So that's
Right?
Oh,
Like,
boy. So I don't know what the Liberals have planned for us, but I am sure that this government has something planned for us, and I'm sure it's going to involve me losing more of my previously lawful property. because
they've definitely alluded to the magazine thing several times, which I think is going to be the thing that they've sort of talked about is we're already limited to 5-round magazines, but it's basically you take any other sized magazine and you put a rivet in it, and then that's permanent. And now
Yes,
it only
and
holds 5.
my truck could drive 190 kilometers an hour, but
But
on the
it's-
highway, I'm only allowed to go 100.
It sounds like all of these criminals that don't go and buy magazines here and unpin them and just get illegal magazines when they get their illegal gun.
You're
Well, the
trying to
trucks
tell
are-
me that the people that are smuggling firearms into this country to use them in the commission of other criminal activities are
Yeah.
not following the magazine restrictions.
Yeah, nor are they even
Wow.
buying legal magazines that are not
Shocked.
controlled. But
Shocking.
yeah,
Wow.
Somehow-
Next, you're going to tell me they hold more than 10 rounds.
you got 30 in some cases,
Wow.
or more. Yeah, I know. But wait,
The truck's a
there's
good
more.
analogy. The truck's a good analogy though, because there's also a governor on it that's going to limit it to around 160 depending on the truck. So your truck could go 200 kilometers an hour. There's a governor that limits it to 160. So even if you're going to go nuts, you can only go so nuts.
But this
Oh,
is the
Okay, is it
thing that-
160? I thought it was 190, but
ridiculous.
in any
Depends
case,
on the truck.
So how are they even going to realistically do this? Because, like, one, there's a bajillion magazines in the population already, and two, at least we're somewhat fortunate in that by allowing us to place a rivet in it, it allows us to take a commercially available product and make it Canadian compliant. And same with our pistol magazines.
Yeah.
You could put a rivet in it, or because there's some stupid states like California, New York, et cetera, that only have 10-round magazines, there is a commercial option for them to make that for the United States, which then makes it available in Canada and for our laws. But if Canada only goes 5 rounds, and it's not 5 rounds and it's pinned to that, it's your magazine can only hold 5 rounds and can't be unmodified in any way, shape, or form to hold more than that. Like, that's going to be insane. No one's going to be building 5-round magazines.
But that's the point. That's the point because
Oh, I know.
like they're saying, we haven't taken anything away from you. We've just specified something else. but nobody's going to set up to manufacture something very specific for a general
Well, I know, and they're
population
going to
that
use
is
the
not even.
they're going to use that same argument where like you don't need that to hunt, and you're like, okay, I need it to shoot competitively where I actually need all 30 rounds in the magazine.
Which technically part of the Firearms Act, if anybody wants to go and read it, it does technically say that I can use them for sporting purposes, not in a pinned capacity.
I think we're just missing a marking opportunity. We should design a single shot.
We're
pistol.
not starting an OnlyFans. We've been over this.
No, the single shot pistol, right? When this comes out, like that's all we're going to be allowed is single shots, right?
They
Well,
already have those.
I mean,
I'd rather fight for the ones that are.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree, but I'm just saying when all the cucks decide that they want
Capitalize on it. Yeah. Start designing.
to. I mean, I'm not saying you should give up what we.
They already exist. There are already bolt action pistols. There's already flintlocks that are single shot.
Yeah,
you know
but you
what I
got
don't
to.
have that I'd really like to add to my collection is like a P-35 Liberator or whatever they are. Those single shot
Yeah.
like French resistance guns. I know
Yeah.
they're super prohib in this country, but what if I got one with like a long enough barrel?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd be down.
For reasons.
Yeah,
Entirely legal reasons.
yeah, and a Webley.
Man, I want a Webley.
Oh yeah,
They're not good, but man, do they look cool.
Yeah, they'd look really nice with a Sam Brown belt.
And a broad black brimmer.
Yes, the holster big and strong, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Borscht.
Borscht. Let's talk about Ukraine. But, like, I don't want to actually talk about Ukraine, so ground rules. I want to talk about the implication in Canada and compare and contrast against our ridiculous government. I would like to avoid the international geopolitics of the whole Russian-Ukrainian thing. It's in the title. It's Canadian Patriot Podcast.
I will do my best.
I know. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I think it's pretty hard to separate all of it.
I know. I don't want to get into the whys and what fors. I feel like anybody that listens to our show is likely aware of world events in a general sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't feel comfortable with my knowledge of the region or history or current events to adequately do justice to what Russia and Ukraine are currently engaged in, other than to say that there's a war on.
yes.
Fair.
There's a dick
I also
measuring.
don't trust anybody else to know enough and be able to tell me enough.
Could we talk about the propaganda piece for this for a minute? Because, like,
We haven't seen propaganda like this in like 2 weeks.
I'm so glad you said 2 weeks, because, like, I can't tell anymore. I literally cannot separate satire from actual news.
Either.
Depending on which side of the equation you read, if it's the pro-Russian or the pro-Ukrainian side, I can no longer keep track of, like, what's real and what's not.
Yeah, but that's been the news cycle for us for years.
I
now.
know, but I used to be able to tell, and now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the ghost of Kiev is real. Maybe Zelensky is actually not the president anymore. I don't know. Maybe Putin's a really bad guy. Maybe he's a great dessert. I don't know. I can't tell.
It's more of a side, not so much a dessert.
I
You
mean, I
get it.
suppose.
Yeah.
What
Kinda dessert.
do you want for dessert? Poutine?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to say in relation to Canada. I think it is very interesting how, given the fact that Eastern Europe has had some interesting tensions for decades, how it just happened to, like, I think that the timing is weird. And I think that it's interesting that our news is covering all of that and not, it's almost like they wanted a story so that we would stop talking about things like how Canada is getting screwed out of their freedoms.
I, for one, would like to thank Vladimir Putin for ending COVID.
yeah.
Right? I thought
Unbelievably incredible.
Black Lives Matter did that. That's what happened last year, the riots.
That was in the summer. That's only
No,
when
no,
you
that-
protest in the summer.
No,
It
that-
came back as soon as that was over.
Yeah.
right.
And I mean,
Canada's cold. We needed somewhere to start a cold war or a lukewarm war at the very least in a cold climate for that to end up here.
So how much money has Canada sent to Ukraine to assist with this whole thing?
I don't know about money, but I would like to talk about like the weapons piece of this.
Oh,
Because we started talking about sending them like $25 million in not arms, and they were very clear it was like,
we don't want
equipment,
your
not
money, we want
arms.
your guns.
Yeah, okay, so
I hope
maybe,
all the
maybe
riot
like
cops from Ottawa. I hope they send
Well,
all
no,
the riot cops from Ottawa.
I mean, that would be okay with me, because like,
Yeah.
you know, get that pension money, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
But
seem to be
also-
very good at those muzzle strikes. That's
Our government sent them. I'm trying to find the article now, and it looks like I maybe removed it or forgot to put it in the show notes. But we sent them like 200 Carl Gustav anti-tank rockets, rocket launchers, recoilless rifles, technically.
yeah.
The Charlie G shoots tanks. That's just what I remember. This is the thing that I understand.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so we sent them a bunch of like recoilless rifles for shooting tanks with,
Yeah.
and a bunch of munitions to shoot tanks with, and also another $25 million in equipment, like not armaments. Why are we arming other countries again?
Well,
No, so I'm
this is
just thinking, what if we took all those funds and like I don't know, worked on like clean drinking water on
I know.
reserves that have been, you know,
I-
like an announcement of something they've promised to
my
election.
my biggest problem with this whole thing is you look at the right, I think, is just as bad in what they're doing and agreeing to send all the things and whatnot everywhere. But like the left specifically is trying to ban our guns. And if you look on Gerald Butts's Twitter feed, you know, he's all about banning guns in
Yeah.
Canada and doing all the things, and that civilians shouldn't have guns. And he's echoing Trudeau's thing that AR-15s are not a thing that, you know, should be in Canada and all of this. And then this thing comes, and there was some woman CEO that, you know, was like a millionaire and that went back to the Ukraine to train how to use an AK and is fighting. And he's like, we should look up to this person. And it's like, how do you reconcile those things where you're like, my country, this is a thing that you shouldn't have, even though you're a law-abiding citizen that's jumped through all of the hoops to get it and engages in lawful sporting activities. And you need to look up to this person that is learning how to use this as an actual weapon, not as a sporting implement, but as a weapon to go and shoot at actual people to defend their homeland.
Oh, so you think the Russians are people? Well, now we see where you land on this issue.
Well, that depends. I mean, if they're no longer communists, then there may be people. But like,
They're
How
not
do you-
communists.
they're trying to take our guns that we use legally, lawfully, and everything else, and trying to say that this is. But then on the, you know, the other side of their mouth, because they're politicians and they're always talking out of one side or the other, they're telling us that,
Both.
you know, we
I
have
was
one thing out of one side and a slightly different thing out of the other that contradicts it. But like, how do you? That doesn't make any sense. How is this an evil thing here, but then a tool of freedom over here? And then
Well,
you
not
know
just
all
not
the
just that.
the shit
They're-
talking about the freedom convoy and the truckers are racists and terrorists and how dare you, like this is. And now you got people, they're like, oh, these are freedom fighters, we need to support them. And it's like,
Like the Azov Battalion?
well, and that I have many spicy takes about this whole thing. So yeah, you have one guy with a Nazi flag, maybe at a rally of a
Oh,
million
you
and
mean
a half,
an agent of the government?
a million
Who
and a
walked
half.
into the police
Yeah.
hotel when he was leaving.
Yeah, so somewhere between 1.5 million and 2.5 million people, you have one guy with a Nazi flag that was seen very briefly in one location. So even if that guy was actually there as a legit Nazi, you have one guy out of 1.5 million people on the low end.
You know what you call one guy
whole-
with a Nazi flag and the RCMP musical ride when they're in the same place?
The leader
Trampoline?
of the band.
Shift change.
But like, And now the
No.
whole group gets painted as Nazis, even though like I saw people of all colors and religions there, and sexual orientations because there were some rainbow flags, but all Nazis.
Questionable
then-
looks people.
You know, you contrast that, yeah, with the Azov or whatever it is battalion that has ties to right-wing extremism that is actually officially part of the Ukrainian National Defense Force.
Well, and I am concerned. I don't know, offended maybe. Maybe I'm offended. I'm not sure. The idea that the government in the same breath is saying, don't go to Ukraine because security risks, but also like, if you want to join the Ukrainian Foreign Territorial Defense Legion, like that's your
Right ahead.
business. Go ahead. Okay.
They also
Um,
said to hit you up. Like, you think the government would allow you to take like your AR-15 with you?
I'm not sure. I feel like that's a no. But I'm curious, like, what if I want to join like the Russian Foreign Legion? Is that an option? Can I only join the
No, you're
Ukrainian
only-
one, or am
you're
I allowed
only
to join?
You're only allowed to
Because
join the
a lot of
Russian-
politicians
or the
have been
Ukrainian one.
tooting the Ukrainian horn, and not that we don't have a large, like ethnic Ukrainian population in
Yeah, I
this
mean,
country,
look at
particularly in like southern Ontario. That's a different
Oh,
thing
but
we're
I
not
mean-
getting into.
Prairies.
No, but Freeland and her
Very.
family is from the Ukraine.
I thought her
So-
family was Nazis.
So,
Yeah,
so
from the
Yes, and
Ukraine.
yes.
Oh,
if you
those
want
kind
to
of
join the
Nazis.
other side, I say get the government, whichever one, to ship you over to Ukraine and just smuggle a bottle of Russian vodka and just cross the line. Say, "Hey, vodka," and like they'll probably accept you, and then you can fight for Russia.
I find this very concerning that they're like, yeah, Canadians shouldn't go there, but also if you're gonna, all right.
Yeah,
I'm not
If you're-
100%, but
yeah,
I don't
don't go because there's a war. But if you're going to go, it's okay as long as you fight for this side.
Right.
No.
And like we didn't have that rule with other countries that we've had wars where Canadians have been fighting, and we're not encouraging people to go and fight for Russia, but we also have a large ethnic Russian population in this country. The lines are very blurry, and there seems to be a lot of mental gymnastics, is I think what I'm getting at. I can't keep track of the victim hierarchy at this point.
So, but
Yeah.
okay, so recent events, like even in just the last 2 years, the way that the government operates is contrary to how it has historically, or I guess maybe it's more overtly suspicious, you know, like it's done that with just about everything. Like you don't, it's whiplash, it's smoke and mirrors, it's check this out, try and pay attention to that. We're so busy doing mental gymnastics that we're not paying attention to the fact that like literally our freedoms are getting eroded. The average person
Well,
doesn't
and I think
know.
this is part of the distraction
Yeah,
that the Ukraine-Russian conflict is providing.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But I
we have a
mean-
bill in the House that's for UBI right now.
Yeah.
Well, and so my
Yeah.
my other spicy take on this is that you have people that are like not Ukrainian, not Russian, but are willing to go over there as Canadians to take up arms and fight and possibly die,
They will die.
but they couldn't be bothered to stand up to their own fucking government in their own country. Like
But-
that
But
drives me
there's
up the
no
fucking wall.
K's over there.
The problem,
So you're saying I could get an AK?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
But
but
the
the 40
problem
grand
is
they're
that-
gonna give me is nowhere near enough money to go and get my ass shot off.
I'm
I
not
don't want to
saying
get shot. I just want an AK. Well,
Yeah, I just-
like a case of AKs. How many AKs can you bring back on a checked luggage? I want that many AKs.
Is it a CIA plane or
Let's assume it's a regular plane.
probably none?
don't we
Well-
know a guy that can probably fly?
I mean, yes, but yeah, like you get all these people that like are willing to like as Canadians, not as
Yeah.
Ukrainian Canadians, that are willing to go over with no dog in the fight whatsoever, and are
Oh.
willing to go there for 40K and an AK just to
But
shoot
that's-
some
this
Ruskies,
is the thing though, is that
and they
those
can't
are-
even bother to put $10 in the fucking Freedom Convoy.
But
Like-
they're also the ones that have now identified that the Canadian flag is a symbol of like treason. or racism
Right.
or whatever, right? And it's
I
because
agree. It
they're
heavily
so,
favors the East.
yeah.
Yes, so we should all go
When,
back
when
to
we
the
say
red
the
ensign.
Canadian flag, do we mean the correct flag or the maple leaf?
No, the maple
The
leaf.
maple leaf.
The
This
maple
is
leaf,
why we need to
right.
continue flying the red ensign, because that is not racist.
But
That's right.
but that's a problem, is that like folks are just so wrapped up in this idea of like the government is here to save us. And whatever they say is obviously in our best interest. So I'm just gonna follow that train to hell if that's where it takes me. But you know, that's obviously better than caring about what goes on in my own neighborhood. Like
Places that I'm going to follow that train. You guys know I like to drink a little, right?
Which is
Why
a reminder
is-
to anyone listening,
have
we've
been
been drinking heavily, and this show is entertainment.
Heavily.
Well,
yeah.
I want to talk about Ontario. Canadian Patriot Podcast, temporarily we're going to call it the Ontario Angry Guy Podcast. Why is the LCBO refunding people who have purchased Russian products from the LCBO? Also, the LCBO does not sell that much actual like Russian vodka. It's
Purchasing,
mostly
selling,
not actually Russian.
selling.
Yeah.
Do I get a refund if I bring an empty?
Well, no. So,
Well,
like, if you're a licensee or a grocery store or a restaurant, they're taking back refunds. But like, those are my tax dollars because it's a crown corporation. Also, we've already bought it for sale. Can we not just like keep selling it till we run out?
Well, and like, I
Because
think
I've never had an
that-
overwhelming desire for vodka, but like now the fact that the government's like
Yeah.
saying we're not going to sell it anymore in the approved like official government alcohol store, I
Did I
really kind of
mention
want to try some.
signaling. Did I mention
not-
virtue signaling? Because that's all it is.
Well, it's exact, and it's the most ridiculous. Like, so I think that
Yes.
the vast majority of the sanctions that the world, not just Canada, the world has placed on Russia have done
Yeah,
fuck
but
all.
Now in Ontario, I can't buy Russian vodka if I want to, and
And
isn't
they're
that just going to like
actually-
really? That's going to show the
Oh, I
cheese and
know.
French fry man.
Well, I know.
War
But like,
over.
the vast majority of the sanctions have done fuck all. If anything, they've hurt the people that are putting the sanctions on more than the person that they're sanctioning. And the vodka thing is a perfect example. So we've already bought the vodka from Russia. We've paid the money. It's here. We've now shipped it from the central warehouse of the LCBO to the individual stores. They've put it out on the shelf, which has cost someone money to do this all the way through. They're now not selling it, but they're not returning it to Russia and getting money back. They're going to
Oh, I know.
return it to the central warehouse and store it there, taking up warehouse space
For what?
which
For
costs
why?
money.
Like,
just to trot
Just-
it back out to
just-
the shelves at some point when we're
Just-
okay with Russia again. Which is
sell
gonna cost
through
more
the
money.
inventory. Just like we've already given
Yeah.
them the money. Just sell through the inventory.
I
Yeah.
don't
Like,
know, like, regardless of where people feel about this, like, I don't know if anybody saw the video of Trump's opinion on Putin and these.
I
sanctions.
could not care less what Trump's opinion is.
No, it's just really funny because
I tried to find the tweet, but it wasn't there.
It's I know, right? No, it's just really funny because it's practically what you guys are saying. Because he's like, Putin is a smart guy, obviously. He's like, oh, you're gonna put sanctions on me? I can invade an entire country and you're gonna put sanctions on me that you've had on me for 25 years. Okay. Like that,
But they're also putting sanctions on him, where he can literally turn a fucking valve and cut off half the natural gas and fuel
that's
line.
no,
Yeah.
70% of Germany.
right?
Set up
Yeah,
fucking Europe and like
Has anyone
the-
noticed what the price of gas is today?
And
'Cause-
that's the price of gasoline here. Look at the price of natural gas in Europe. It is
Yeah.
freaking insane.
But here's the question.
problem we have with gas being so goddamn fucking expensive here. When was the last time we imported anything from fucking Russia to make gas in Canada or available in Canada?
Last year, this year, last year. We
Constantly,
do about
because we don't-
$550 million worth of
We're
oil
importing
from
like
Russia.
$500 million worth of refined petroleum products from Russia annually.
because
it
we
is.
don't
But we
have a
banned
fucking
not
crude
an-
guys,
pipeline.
so it's great.
Well,
Wait,
great.
what we
That's
haven't-
perfect. Since we don't have refining capacity to handle crude from any country, including our own, that's really good that we've banned a thing we can't fucking do anything with. This will really help. Like
Yeah,
that,
we don't have
God.
that or the pipeline to get it from one side of the country to the other.
Yeah, but you
I
gotta
want
remember,
I
like,
want to beat the politicians until they get smarter.
I just
I
want
wouldn't
to
drink-
go and pay for
you
my
guys-
fuel. Like, just
Yeah.
meet me at the pumps. Meet me at the pumps. It cost me like
At what point do we get to federalize the petroleum companies?
I don't know, but like,
That's not going to
So-
make it better.
That's not
I've
gonna
read
make it
books
better.
about this. It doesn't end well.
for
I
who?
just
Well,
heard that Alberta's dropping their price of gas by 11 cents a liter, and I'm not exactly sure how, and it doesn't make me feel good that they can just decide to do that, even though I know they can.
Honestly, I could see them because we have 1st of April in Ontario. The carbon tax is going to go up, so
Yeah.
we're gonna pay another 11 cents a liter. I could see
No, no,
the
it's-
tariffs and excises being dropped to like make the difference up.
I thought it was only going up a couple cents. It's not going up. It's going up to 11 cents, I think.
Yeah, but like whatever,
Yeah.
the government can arbitrarily increase the excise and duty and things, the taxes on
Yeah.
the fuel. The government in Alberta can arbitrarily reduce that, and I could see them doing that because
So
it's
I-
Alberta and it's full of gas. They have no refining capacity, but that's a different problem.
So I vote Alberta starts dropping a lot more, so they start giving away a bunch of their tax money to like another not
Well,
so
I'm
like
just, I'm
Russian
just
where
curious. At what point is it easier for us to just take like a Mad Max style tanker of gasoline and drive it to Alberta, fill it up, and come back? And is it
Buddy,
cheaper to
I
do
will
that?
witness you whenever you're ready to go.
Like, is that going to be cheaper for us to get gas than buying it locally? Because if it is, yeah, I will get my leather pants out and my football pads and spray paint them black, and like,
I got a hockey mask. We're good. Let's do
Yeah.
this thing.
I think
Okay.
I have some football pads actually.
they stole
Nice.
a bunch of tankers.
we'll
off
pick
the
you up on the way.
Yeah,
guys
I
that had like
definitely have a helmet.
tankers.
So we'll be fine.
I vote we do that. I know a few people with fast cars.
We don't need fast. We need can carry lots.
Well, like we got to
Hey,
have
People
like
can't
a.
stop us.
We've got to have a bandit to their Smoky though, right? Like, so someone's got to
Ah,
run
yes.
the lead card to draw the cops away.
Yeah, Liz will do it. Yeah.
I'm
Thing
in.
I would
Because
smoke.
we're family.
I'm in.
This is some real Fast and the Furious stuff.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, they do it in the
Oh, boy.
movies. We can do it too, guys. Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
So
We're
I-
fine there.
if you give Peter a red shirt and a black cowboy hat, he could almost be Burt Reynolds. I'm just saying.
So everything
That-
I've seen from,
That
like
mustache is.
the John Wick.
It's way
movies,
better on camera.
Ah.
That's not as good in person.
That's all right. I know people that do like microblading for eyebrows. They could probably fill it in a little bit, make it a little fuller for you.
I don't even
You
know
know
what that
what?
is, and I don't
What?
want to know.
I'm not gonna explain it to you.
No.
It's
Appreciate that.
It's tattooing on eyebrows
Why wouldn't you just
But-
call it
but-
tattooing?
because
Yeah.
it's not like you're not like a chola where you
It's
just
not
like
like tattooing.
sharpie it on, and it's just like
Well-
a solid black line. They make it look like it's hair, but it's not.
To be fair, when I was 18, me and a bunch of buddies used Just for
To
Men on
be
them to make it a little
fair.
thicker.
To be fair, when I was 18, I was young,
Yeah,
dumb,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, that doesn't justify a lot.
Oh yeah.
Very, very, very quick Freedom Convoy stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
Unlikely, but yeah, let's do it.
So just convoy stuff, because I mean, a lot of this doesn't relate to actual anything to do with fucking.
Well, I
freedom.
figured we already got Burt Reynolds going on. We may as well round out the Freedom Convoy stuff. Convoy donations come from fed up people, not terrorists. This is according to FinTrack. That's our national financial crimes intelligence organization. So, believe it or not, we were not funding terrorism, despite people having donated $20, having their bank accounts temporarily taken away. I think everybody's got them back now. I'm not 100% on that. I think everybody's got their stuff back.
Well, yeah, but
Does
you
that
have
mean
to make your
20
phone
bucks?
call to the RCMP.
So does that mean $20 is not worth $20, but $20 equals locked out of your account?
In at least some cases, yes.
So
Yeah.
can you sue the government for
No.
undership?
No,
And
Emergency Act.
Emergency Act.
If you're
Oh.
indigenous, you can. So find
Oh.
an indigenous.
Yeah, but
person
that's
to donate it.
different because the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
True. So a friend of mine asked, like, was at Libro, which I don't know if it's a national credit union or just one relatively local.
I know it's an Ontario thing when there's a bunch of Libras
Yeah.
around.
But I
Yeah.
guess their business has like tripled since the bank accounts got frozen.
Sweet, good for them.
Yeah.
For-
Everybody's like going to credit unions because of it.
I wonder what would
Well,
happen
maybe
if I
that's-
signed up with the Ukrainian credit union around the corner from my house.
They might.
Free AK.
They'll send you an AK in the mail, Flo, and be
You
like,
might
it's
get some
perfect.
of that Ukraine funding all of a sudden end up in your account.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You get a borscht, and you get a borscht.
we all get the board.
Also on the
Yeah,
I
Freedom
don't-
Convoy thing, they finally released Tamara Lick out of prison on
Yeah.
bail.
Excellent. I would like to talk about both Tamara and Pat King and anything else about bail and people being denied their normal rights and all of the things about that, but I am not well versed in this topic, so please, by all means.
So I find it bullshit. They're not allowing them out. They're denied bail, but some fucking douchebag caught with 6 pounds of coke in his fucking trunk and 2 loaded handguns is out on bail before I finish wiping my ass.
Yeah, they held Tamara
Yeah.
for what? It's been a week and a half now.
Like
2 weeks.
it doesn't matter how long. Like
Oh, it might be
more
the
more than a day, I have an issue with. You have people that are being pulled over with drug trafficking charges.
Never mind that. You have murderers and rapists who are getting
Mur-
bail.
yeah, murderous, rapist, right? Well,
Not just getting it on bail, getting it on bail the same day.
yeah.
Yes.
that's right. So a guy is caught with someone tied up in their trunk against their will. Someone tied drugs, a loaded restricted firearm without the proper paperwork, which is already a mandatory how many years in jail, right? All this, a previous criminal record, and they would be out on bail within the next, within 24 hours, let's say. And this person decided that, like, hey, this is kind of bullshit and we want to do something about it. And they've been denied bail up until, I believe that she was out on bail today, right? I think earlier
Yeah,
today.
she's out today. So it's in the
So
national
she's been in jail for how long? Or,
2.5 weeks.
pains. Right?
She was
So I have
arrested on the
problem with that.
27th or on the 17th.
18 days in custody
Yeah.
is what this
She was
article.
arrested on the 17th. She was released today. Yeah.
But she was a
the new-
terrorist.
Well, so she had the original judge who was a liberal shill who ran for liberal office in 2011?
2015, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
2011.
Oh, really?
Um,
All right, then.
They failed
so
more
she
than
got
once.
so she was able to get a new judge, and that judge came out and said that that an earlier judge made errors in law in her February 22 decision to deny Lick bail, saying that the
Ooh.
charges she faced are at a lower scale than other offenses where bail was granted, like because she's charged with
Well, I
mischief
mean,
and
like,
not
A,
murder.
no shit, but also B, shit talking another judge. That doesn't seem like a great career move.
Hey,
No,
but
but-
I like it.
I mean, that depends. How does everyone else feel about that judge?
Exactly.
So I want to know so let's say, we'll call it Judge A and Judge B, right? Judge A denied bail. Judge B said, hey, you kind of fucked up because we've let out more horrible people as the scenario I said previously. And let's just say in this example, Judge A was completely wrong for doing something. What is the retribution or penalties or however you want to call it
Precisely nothing.
that Judge Aish would get, not should in this scenario, because we all know what should be is probably a little bit of a walk through a hemp field and some oak trees. But and that's the problem, right? So these people are supposed to uphold laws written on the books and supposed to be non-biased about anything, right? Whether you agree with
Cute.
what this person has done or not, have they done something against the law? Whether you personally agree with it against what you think is right or you think is morally right. at the end of the day, that has to stay at the door, and you're supposed to read law, right? You, in any scenario, you're allowed to do A, B, C. If you do anything past A, B, C, you've done wrong. What's the penalty, right? That's the times table there.
I mean, yes, I understand, and I don't disagree with you, but also that's not how it works, right?
Yeah.
But that's the problem I have with all this.
Well, I mean, that's because our our electoral system, that's not true. Our judicial system is corrupt. Our electoral system is also corrupt, but I got the two confused.
Yeah, there's a lot I have issues with, but
Well,
It's a lot of
Yeah.
overlap there.
yeah.
But
I mean,
Like I said,
potato, let's throw the whole thing out.
Putin,
Yeah.
Putin, I mean, but I'm saying, if a lot of more people grow a few more oak trees and a few more hemp farms, I have a feeling we could probably solve
That's
this
true.
problem.
Hemp is the solution, and oak makes the finest beams.
Oak
Also-
does make really nice beams.
Yeah.
Really good firewood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go that route too. Fuck the oak farm or the hemp farm. Sorry, just grow more oak and we'll burn them at the stake like fucking witches.
I mean, I would very much be fine with Quebec embracing their French culture and bringing the guillotine back out.
That got out of hand quickly the first time.
But it
Yeah,
worked.
but
Well, yes, it did kill a lot of politicians, but dang it, did it get out of hand?
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
it's better
we're
than
not
the Dutch
wrong.
where they actually ate the guy.
you don't know
was
that.
Weird. Well,
I'm just saying we're not wrong. It may have gotten out of hand, but we're not wrong.
Yeah.
And
That's
I stand
fair.
by my.
also, this is an entertainment podcast.
Also, in
Yes.
my defense, as the beginning of the show, I've had quite a bit to drink.
Drinks. Well, let's round the show out. Book club. We're coming up again.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead on book club. March book
Weird.
Extreme Ownership. Jocko Wilnick and Leif Babin. How Navy SEALs Lead and Win. I think this is our second Jocko book.
Yeah, we did Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. First Jocko book.
Nice.
Yeah.
And in April, we're going into the archives and pulling out some Orwell. We're going to do Animal Farm because it's been a while since we did Orwell, and it seems like the man
Yeah.
can predict the future.
No longer fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna change which bookshelf I've been keeping that on.
yeah. All of the animals are equal.
Some
are
of
more
the
equal.
animals are more equal than others.
Yeah, I actually finished it last night.
I mean, like Animal Farm is a quick read. It's not
Yeah.
not a terribly dense book.
And I'm actually
I-
reading Jocko's fiction book right now.
Is that good?
Oh, cool.
I feel like it would be.
I'm doing the audio one, so it's him reading it.
Nice.
I'll let you know.
So badass, no matter what.
It's weird.
It
I don't
sounds
listen to it
weird.
at
4
I
a.m.
don't dislike it. It's weird though. I gotta get into it. I was doing some more Evola, and I need a little break, so I did Animal Farm and
can
You're
Jocko.
understand
not, you're
that.
not
I-
listening early enough in the morning. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
If you're
probably it.
listening in 4 in the
Yeah.
morning, then you would
Possibility.
get it.
A
Yeah.
possibility.
Um, But for
Yeah.
people that are into audiobooks, I highly recommend doing Extreme Ownership in audiobook.
That's
Because
how I'm
it's-
doing it.
Oh, it's Jocko and Leaf reading it, and they trade back and forth, and it is awesome. Like they're really good at writing this type of book in particular. But when you have them actually reading it and getting the right emphasis on the right syllable, it is that much better.
Like I just
I-
ordered the book today, and I'm excited to get the book, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want to download the audiobook just because. Yeah,
Well,
I
see,
kinda-
now
Very
that you-
good.
See, you've ordered the book, you've paid for the actual book. I think it's totally fair to download a pirated version of the audiobook.
Absolutely. As discussed in the chat, if you get the hardcover copy of a book, the audio book should
Not willing to endorse breaking laws yet. That's still
it
like
should
It's an
it should.
entertainment podcast. I've
Right,
been
should,
drinking it.
should,
Don't-
absolutely.
Don't
If
listen
you-
to anything I say. Yeah.
if you buy a physical product, you should also get the digital product. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
But Maybe let's not encourage people to pirate things.
Yar.
Except for Russian vodka, that you can pirate because, I mean,
Pirate the shit out of that and let us know.
Yeah.
I don't even like vodka. I'll buy a bottle. Support.
Support the LCBO.
No, support against the LCBO being
Yeah.
douchey, costing me more fucking money than they should be.
Yeah. For us, it's
We-
the MLCC. So.
I bought a book on how to distill at home. I think I might crack it out.
Oh,
How to
need
still
to-
at home?
Distill.
Oh,
Distill.
distill. That I
Yeah.
missed a. Yeah.
we can
We,
put you in
uh,
touch with some people that already do it.
We have
Yeah.
some excellent local stuff if you ever want.
Always.
I
Out clear.
will
Always.
chat after we go live before I get. more
Well,
in
let's finish
Right.
rounding this out. We'll try to not be a super long show.
Yeah.
although Maybe. Why don't we start with Liz and we'll go clockwise. Where can people find everyone? Liz, do you have any social media you'd like to plug or anything else you'd like to add?
Keep on
It's an
rocking.
audio show. They can't hear you shaking your head.
Keep on rocking in the free world. That's what I'm gonna say.
There you go.
All right, I can take that. Gavin?
You just got to watch it though, because then you're gonna get canceled on Spotify or get
I
kicked
look
off.
forward to it.
Only
You,
if you're
you can find me on the Instagrams or next weekend at the Ruck. Urbex GTA though on the Instagrams.
I guess I should go next. That would make sense. If you want to get in touch with me, you should buy something from Ragnarok Tactical. Go to the website, ragnaroktactical.ca. Use discount code PATRIOT when you check out. Save yourself some money. Literally take food out of my child's mouth. Peter, where can everybody find you?
Mostly in the Discord. I spend most of my social media time there.
Where can people find a link to the Discord?
In the show notes.
Good man.
I've listened enough times. I get to figure it out.
What about you, Pierre?
Listen to Pierre screwed up enough times. On Instagram at the Moran Life. Good luck spelling it right.
We'll talk after. Spell it out. I'll write it. I've had a lot to drink.
Well, as Pierre finishes taking a sip there, where can everybody find you?
I still have booze in this. Just to be clear. But off the wall customizing at Gmail, or if you watch live on Mondays and you've got a really good camera, you can probably see where you can find me specifically right here. But
Audio show.
that's why I
Specified.
specified. Yeah, where if you watch live and everything, and then I pointed. I didn't specify that first.
They can't. You got to point closer to the microphone so they can hear you.
Right about there. Yeah. Right. So, but yeah, I'm also on the Discord. I'm on Instagram. Yeah, you can find us off the wall customizing. Whatever you think you want, we can make it happen.
Nice short
All right.
post today. I enjoyed it.
Which one?
So, custom AKs from Pierre.
My
Got
wife,
it.
my wife
Check.
asked me to sweep the house.
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. So we'll talk after about
Want to apologize to Rod Giltaca. We couldn't get Rod on the show tonight. There's a lot going on. We'll try and get Rod in next
Yeah,
week.
He's not quite caught up on his Ukrainian geopolitics. Yeah.
Ukraine was way too east for the West to get involved.
I mean, I've been saying that for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
If you want to send us feedback, drop us an email, feedback@canadianpatriotpodcast.com. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know why we're wrong, what you disagree with. And as long as you could be civil, you could probably even get invited on the show to come and debate me.
You're so nice to think I'm that civil when I get this drunk.
Well,
He
I
said he
mean,
would
if
be
you want
civil,
to, if you
not
want to
us.
fight Pierre, that can also be arranged.
We could sell tickets.
We could have a special show for that. Bring back the Thursday just for that one.
Yeah.
I'm down.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I'd like to remind you that you are a small fringe